September 24th, Eilat, Israel's southernmost city, known for its beaches, coral reefs, and tourism, was supposed to be celebrating the Jewish New Year with fireworks. Instead, the night sky lit up with something far deadlier. A cheap, low-tech drone launched by Yemen's Houthi movement traveled hundreds of kilometers, crossed the Red Sea, and struck the city. It injured 48 people, damaged hotels, shattered glass windows, and sent terrified residents running for cover. But beyond the immediate destruction, this incident raised a question no Israeli leader wanted to hear. How could a low-cost drone break through Israel's Iron Dome, a defense system celebrated worldwide as one of the most advanced on Earth? Israel had always promised its people that the Iron Dome would shield them from almost any airborne threat. Yet here was a weapon costing a few $1,000s, humiliating a system worth billions. The attack was more than a military incident. It was a psychological earthquake for a country that prides itself on technological supremacy. Since its deployment in 2011, the Iron Dome has been a source of national pride for Israel. Designed to intercept rockets, artillery shells, and short-range missiles, it boasts an official success rate of over 90% at U.S. Taxpayers have poured billions of dollars into its development, and Israeli leaders have marketed it as proof that high-tech defense can protect civilians even in one of the world's most volatile regions. But the recent drone attacks, 3 in less than a month, have exposed limits no one wanted to discuss publicly. The system failed twice to intercept the Houthi drone before it hit Eilat. Military spokespeople blamed technical malfunctions, but critics argue the real problem is more fundamental. The Iron Dome was built to stop rockets with predictable trajectories, not slow, low-flying drones that can maneuver, hover, and even swarm in groups that a single failure might be dismissed as bad luck. But multiple incidents suggest a changing battlefield where traditional missile defenses are no longer enough. For decades, Israel has relied on 2 things to maintain security: military power and the perception of invincibility. The Iron Dome wasn't just a weapon, it was a symbol. It reassured families in border towns. It allowed politicians to promise safety even during conflicts with Hamas or Hezbollah. It gave Israel the confidence to strike enemies abroad while keeping its own population calm at home. But the image of smoke rising over Eilat shattered some of that confidence. Daesh footage went viral, showing tourists fleeing hotels and ambulances rushing through the streets. Ordinary Israelis began asking tough questions. If the Iron Dome can't stop one drone, what about 10? What if Hezbollah in Lebanon or Iran itself launches a coordinated attack with hundreds of drones and rockets at once? Has Israel been overconfident in its technological shield? Opposition parties quickly seized the moment, accusing Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government of complacency and failing to adapt to new threats. For Israel's enemies, from Hezbollah to Iran, the attack was propaganda gold, a way to show that Israel's much-celebrated defenses are not as untouchable as advertised. The Houthis in Yemen know they cannot match Israel or Saudi Arabia in conventional military strength. They have no modern air force, no high-tech missile systems comparable to what major powers possess. Instead, they turn to asymmetric warfare, using cheap, innovative weapons to inflict political and psychological damage far beyond their cost. A single Iron Dome interceptor missile costs around $50,000. A Houthi drone? Maybe $2,000 to $5,000 at most. This creates a nightmare scenario for Israel. Financially, it's unsustainable to fire expensive missiles at waves of cheap drones. Tactically, drone swarms can overwhelm radar systems by attacking from multiple directions at once. Strategically, each successful strike erodes Israel's image of invincibility and emboldens other groups. Iran, which backs the Houthis, likely views this as a test case, a way to probe Israel's defenses without direct confrontation, while signaling that more advanced drone technology could be supplied to Hezbollah or other proxies. In retaliation, Israeli jets bombed Houthi-controlled areas near Yemen's Hodeidah port, claiming to target drone launch sites and weapon depots. But military experts warn airstrikes won't solve the underlying problem. Drones can be built quickly, launched from hidden sites, and replaced at minimal cost. Meanwhile, other groups in the Middle East are watching closely. Hezbollah in Lebanon already possesses thousands of rockets and has begun deploying drones along Israel's northern border. Iran has developed long-range drones capable of reaching Israeli territory from far beyond its borders. Even militias in Iraq and Syria may see this as proof that low-cost weapons can neutralize billion-dollar systems. Multiple fronts begin launching drones simultaneously, north from Lebanon, east from Syria, south from Yemen. Analysts warn Israel's air defenses could be overwhelmed, forcing the country into wars on several fronts at once. The Eilat attack signals a turning point not just for Israel, but for modern warfare itself. From Ukraine to the Red Sea, cheap drones are rewriting the rules of conflict. They give small groups power once reserved for states with advanced militaries. They blur the line between traditional war and insurgency, between superpower technology and improvised weapons. For Israel, the challenge is enormous. How to adapt its defenses to drone swarms, AI-guided UAVs, and low-cost missiles. How to maintain its image of security while admitting its vulnerabilities. How to respond militarily without being dragged into endless conflicts across the region. Some analysts argue Israel needs a new layer of defense: lasers, electronic warfare systems, and better, early warning networks to counter the drone threat. Others say the real solution lies in diplomacy, reducing the number of enemies willing to launch such attacks in the first place. But one thing is clear: the era when billion-dollar defense systems could guarantee safety against cheap, improvised weapons is over. The drone revolution has arrived, and the Iron Dome, once seen as unshakable, must now prove it can withstand the storms of this new age of warfare.